Welcome to the Pirate Handyman, where we teach you how to be self-sufficient and even save coin for your treasure chest. If you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button down below and the notification bell, and that way every time a new video comes out, which is every Tuesday and Thursday, you'll be notified with another cool tip. So what we're going to do today is we're going to replace a doorknob, and we're going to replace the whole mechanism, and I'm going to show you two different types of doorknobs that you might find on the inside of your house. This is the first type, and what this has is two screws. But before we actually do this, I want to show you another one, because sometimes if you don't see this, you're going to have to figure out how to get underneath to the screws, and that's what I'll show you now. So you can see here we don't have any screws, so somehow we've got to get to the mechanism underneath. Now on the shaft of the handle, and whether it's a round handle or an oblong handle, there's going to be some type of little spring mechanism that is going to allow you to take this off, and then you'll be able to get the plate off and then get the screws off. So in this particular case, there is a slot, so we're going to turn it up like this. Alright, so you can see this slot here. So all we do is take the screwdriver, put it on top of that. Alright, so you can see what we did is there was a little tab sticking out here. We just pushed this in with a screwdriver and then pulled out, because as we push it in, it allows this to come off the shaft. Alright, so in order to get this off, somewhere around the outside of this you're going to find a slot. And in this case the slot is over here. So we just take our flathead screwdriver, put it in the slot, and just turn it, and you can see that just pops right off. There's our slot, and now we've exposed the screws. And this is fairly easy, because now what we do is we just have to loosen these screws, and we'll rotate this, and this will come off, and the other side will come off too. So now we're back over to this one, and what we're going to do is just take these screws out. And they're very long, but you can see the handle's in the way a little bit, so it's very hard to get a electric screwdriver in here. So just remember that usually on the inside of the door, that's going to be your cue on whether you're going to have the screws to take out like this, or if you're going to have to pop the handle off and then pop the cover. So we get these out, and then it just pulls apart like this. Now we're going to take off the plunger mechanism. Now if you want to use an electronic screwdriver here, that's okay for taking it out. I wouldn't do it when you're putting it back together. And the reason is it's too easy for these screws to strip inside the wood. So now we pull this out. Okay, so the final thing is the strike plate. And the strike plate will have two screws. And again, you can take these off with an electric screwdriver or battery operated screwdriver, but I wouldn't recommend using it to put them back in. Now that I've got that out, I'm going to do everything else in reverse order. So, it's not up here tight, so we'll take it back off and see if we can see why. Well, here's why. We don't have much of a hole here. So, we're going to have to route this out.
We just had to take a little tool to it.
Yeah. Okay, so we had to use a little Dremel to deepen it just a little bit. So we'll put the strike plate back on. And now we'll move to the plunger. So when you're putting the plunger in, you want to make sure that the angled part is going towards the door, because that's what's going to hit the strike plate. If you do it backwards, and I've done that, it doesn't close. So we're going to put this in here. Put our screws back in. Didn't have to make any adjustments here because it was the same. Make sure it hits, and it does. So you always want the screws facing inside the door. So when you look at inside the plunger here, you'll see that there are shapes. There's 2 holes for these, and then this you can see is kind of an arc. You can see we've got an arc here. So what I want to do is push this through. So we've got the arc, and it's coming through. Want to make sure it's turning. So it's turning the way it's supposed to. And now the fun part. You have to line up these 2 holes with the holes on what's coming through there. And unfortunately, there's never usually a whole lot to line it up. Now you'll see there are things, you can't see it here, but there are little guides that are inside the handle itself. So we put it on, we'll turn it a little bit to find the guides. Get it tight, make sure it's working. And there we go. And so that's just replacing a basic doorknob inside the house. If you have a key lock, it runs the same way. So thanks for joining us on the Pirate Handyman. We hope you enjoyed this. If you dig what we're doing, hit that subscribe button down below and click the notification bell, and that way every time a new video drops, which is every Tuesday and Thursday, you'll be notified on how you can save money and put more coin in your treasure chest. Thanks mateys, and smooth sailing.